two, and three, two, one, action.
Hello, my name is Randall Lawrence, host of That Moment podcast. I'm here with Miguel Coppedge, author, entrepreneur. Miguel, it's an honor having you. Listen, tell us about the history of the beginning part of your life as a young teenager.
As a young teenager, I really didn't have a really hard life. I was a very outspoken child, even from when I was starting my business.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved, speaking out. And for example, I do public speaking. I love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved writing. I loved all the passions that I have now. I still love.
What were some of your struggles in the beginning as a young child?
Struggles, I would say nervousness.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very nervous child, and I think that has something to do with me being shy and I wasn't used to, speaking to large crowds. I wasn't used to oh yeah, I wrote a book,
Right.
Making that known.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't used to that, so.
So, with me asking this question, I kind of, again, like I said, I kind of know the history of, a little bit of history of you.
Yeah.
But if you would like to share as far as your birth, where you were born, who'd you grow up with, your parents, talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I was born December 11th, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 17 now. My parents, Yolanda Coppedge, I love her to death, and my dad, Miguel Nars, I love him to death too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was actually adopted by my mom at a very young age,
Mm-hmm.
by my birth mother.
Which is Miss Yolanda, right?
No, she's not my birth mother.
No, Yolanda adopted you, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, and think I was adopted when I was about two.
And that age range from 2 to 3.
Yeah, 2.
How does that make you feel now, and what kind of effect does she have on you as the man who you are today?
She has a very big effect, and a lot of people will probably think, "Oh yeah, your dad has a big effect." It's not always your dad, because your mom
Right.
knows what's best.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not around your dad all the time, he's just going to think,
I can tell you one thing. I know she's your biggest support fan. I know that for a fact. Because every time I see anything around you, she's close to you.
Right. She is an outstanding mother.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she takes a lot of risks for me.
Right.
That isn't really needed, but she does it anyways.
Yeah.
To feed me, to get a roof over my head.
How does that make you feel now?
It makes me feel appreciative. It
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel like I'm loved, and I'm just a special child. That's basically.
At any point in your life, in your in those same years, in your earlier childhood, did you feel like, okay, I don't know which direction where I want to go. I don't know. I don't have a general idea of what it is that I want to do. Because I know you started your career of writing really, really early. At any point in your life, did you feel like you just hit a blank spot of not knowing?
I would say my blank spot wasn't even earlier. It was actually 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, because I didn't really know if I wanted to, continue with basketball or just, continue with writing.
Talk to us about the basketball piece.
So I do play for Richard Wright Public Charter School, which is in Southwest DC.
So wait, okay, so you attend Richard Wright?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. We've been going back and forth actually trying to get some more students to come up here from Richard Wright. I didn't know you were from it. That's a good thing. That's a great, awesome school.
Yes, it is. Very good. Very, very good.
Tell us about your basketball history.
So I started playing basketball when I was about 3. I picked up a basketball when I was about 2. I first started watching basketball when I was a very young age, and I knew everything that was going on. I believe I think it was the Cavs versus the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first game I watched. It was back in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron had scored. Every time LeBron had scored, I would jump up and.
Oh, so you were a huge basketball fan at an early age. Yeah, that's cool. So who's your favorite basketball player?
All the time.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Who's your favorite basketball team now?
I don't really have a favorite basketball team, but I do like the Nets.
Oh, okay. Why? Kyrie?
Katie.
Katie, all right.
Yeah, I do like Kyrie, but like.
Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Katie is like that silent assassin.
Yes.
All right, man. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Talk to us about your books. How many have you written already? And well, let's talk about the first book. Explain. Give me the topic of your first book, and if you have it, show it and tell us what it's about.
Okay. So my first book is about two young superheroes who discovered they had superpowers. Pull it up again.
Let me see. Yeah.
At the age of 10, right when I had wrote this book. Well, it was a year later.
You can take it down.
Okay. So it was a year later. They were about 10. I had the characters as 10 years old when I was like 9. Mm-hmm. So I think as a child, I always said I was like a older age than I already was because of my mature mindset.
Right.
So it's about two young superheroes who discovered they had superpowers, used their superpowers to fight crime versus their arch nemesis, and yeah, that's about it.
So, at what age did you write this book?
I was about 8, and then I published it at 9.
Yeah, I can't even remember what I was doing at the age of 8. I can't even remember what I was doing at the age of 9. I can't even remember what I was doing at the age of 10. So what made you sit down and like decide, hey, I want to write a book?
I think my passion for writing. I truly think that's why. I always loved to write. And I will always write certain stuff in notebooks at school. So I was like, I have, multiple resources where I can write books and everything. So why not
That's cool.
write a book?
That's cool. So it was your decision to say, hey, I want to write a book.
Yes.
At the age of 8 or 9.
Yes.
Boy, I can't even. That's huge. All right, tell us about the second book.
Second book is a sequel to the first book. It is called The Adventures of a Fireman in the Case of the Stinger. It's about almost the same thing, just with a different arch nemesis. They come out of retirement. They used to live their lives as regular teenagers. Now they're, full-on superheroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a part 2 to that first one.
Yes.
So, grand total, how many books have you actually written?
3.
3. All right. Tell us about the third one.
The third one is about community policing. It's called Friendly Officers. I wrote this because I felt like every officer wasn't bad when,
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Repeat what you just said.
I felt like every officer wasn't bad.
Right.
And that's because I knew a lot of officers that, were in my family, friends of family, friends of my mom, even uncles, cousins. Like, I felt like, I had to shine light on the officers that were good.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I wrote that book.
That's a good tell me, so you've written 3 books. Tell me actually, how did you feel, or when you got into that space after writing those 3 books? What do you mean you got into a dark space? What was that dark space?
Dark space? After I wrote Friendly Officers, it was a lot of people, like, I felt like weren't supporting me because I wrote a book about, what was going on back in like 2015 to now. It's still people not supporting me, but I don't really care. As long as I have the people supporting me, then it's all good with me.
So when you mean support, do you mean support from immediate family? Do you mean friends? Do you mean outside locally, or do you mean all around?
Mostly family.
So here's what I want to tell you. You're not going to get the support that you want. But hey, you know what? That's okay. Because I promise you, the type of support that you need is going to come elsewhere. Right. From resources that you have no idea.
Right.
Resources that you have no idea. But they're going to come. You just got to give yourself enough time. Are you working on your 4th book?
Yes. Yes, I am.
You got a title for it?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. You're just working on it.
I'm just writing at this point.
It's just how does it make you feel when you write? Do
Do
you feel like a sense of peace, or do you feel like a sense of freedom?
I feel peaceful. I like writing when mostly I like writing when I'm mad or I feel emotional.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I start writing.
Yeah.
Because it makes me empower my words more than I want to.
Yeah. What are some of the places that you've actually? Where are some of the places that your books have actually taken you?
Texas.
Woo.
I believe.
What was in Texas? What did you have to do in Texas?
It was a public speaking, so I did some public speaking to a Boys and Girls Club school out there. It was in Abilene, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Boys and Girls Club school. Another Boys and Girls Club in I think a rec center.
Okay, in Texas, you had to do all of that in Texas.
Yes.
How did that make you feel? How did it make you feel when you got the phone call?
I don't even remember how I felt. I just remember just getting excited because I always wanted to go to Texas.
To Texas, yeah. So other than the fact that you had to take care of business, what else did you do in Texas?
I didn't really do that much.
Oh, you didn't really do that much. You just went and took care of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
When I'm invited to stuff like that, I just scratch everything out.
Yeah.
I just want to do what I'm,
right.
supposed to do.
Yeah. Other than Texas, where else have you been? Where else have your books actually taken you?
Out of the country? I mean,
well,
not country.
Period. Period. It can be. It can be locally. I just explain to me where have they actually taken you. It can be physically. It can be mentally. It can be in your soul.
I think my books have taken me to have more self-esteem for myself,
That's
confidence.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really. I feel really good about myself sometimes when people come up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, you're the one that wrote the book."
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I don't want to hear it because.
Oh, I listen. I totally get. So here's the thing. It's not like you don't want to hear it, because when I'm around people and they start talking about films, it's not that I don't want to hear it. It's I know for me, I want to be in another space. I want to be in another space in my life with the films, and sometimes I feel like I'm not there yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing. It's just that you want to get to where you want to be with those books. Right. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's something like that.
Well, explain to me how you feel, because that's how I feel.
I used to have like a pet peeve with people, not even a pet peeve, a bad habit with people who, give me like so much respect to the point where it kind of gets annoying,
So you're just not used to it yet because you're still young.
Yeah.
Have you? Let me ask you a question. As far as like how old are you now?
I'm 17.
So as far as like your childhood, have you actually done everything you wanted to do as far as, and that could be it. That could be it too. Name what's some of the things that you felt like that you missed in your childhood?
I don't feel like I missed anything. I just felt like it's not done,
Right. Well, you're a full-fledged teenager, about going your teenage years. So whatever it is you want to do, what are some of the other things that you want to do in life as far as
graduate college?
Huh?
Graduate college.
Yeah.
Work at ESPN. I want to be like an analyst.
Okay.
A sports analyst.
That's cool. What are you doing to work on? What are you doing to work on that?
So it's a couple of colleges that I know that have a very good program in that. So those are the colleges I want to go to.
That's cool.
And they're locally, like UMD, ECU, schools like that. And I feel like if I can, go with my plan,
right,
which is graduate, get a degree in, communications, and, I always wanted to live in the Big Apple, so.
You what? Have you been to New York before?
No.
You better take him to New York. You better take him to New York.
I am. I'm going to take him.
New York is, so I'm a huge fan of New York City. It's something about New York. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's that go-getter drive when you get into New York. It always feels like you need to do something. You need to be doing something. New York is the kind of like mecca place for artists. It's Levi's going to school in New York. He's applying for schools in New York City. Other than the school part, have you felt like that it was some other things that you really wanted to do as far as like besides the books? Because I know you're an entrepreneur, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But does it feel like something else that you missed?
It's a lot of things that I miss.
Talk about it. This is the place where you. This is the place, brother. Let me tell you something. This is the place where you can talk about any and everything that's on your mind.
Okay.
So let it blurt out.
Okay. First, I feel like I had missed opportunities to become, it's a lot of
missed opportunities on what?
It's a lot of missed opportunities when it came to basketball. A lot. I mean,
you got a love for basketball?
Yes. And
but you're only 17, so why do you feel like it's a missed opportunity?
I'm about to graduate early.
Okay, so
it's my senior. Well, technically, yes, it is
you
my
can
senior.
pick it up in college.
I mean, I can't go on as a walk-on.
Why you can't? You don't think your skills good enough?
No, I think my skills are good enough. It's just,
bro. Let me tell you something. You can do anything you want to do. Life is here for us to pursue in any direction where we're going to. It's up to you. If basketball is something that you want to put on your checkoff list, move forward doing it.
I mean,
there's nothing stopping you.
I mean,
you're still young.
Not anymore. I don't really want to be
Oh, that was just one of the things that you. Okay, all right.
That was one of the things. When I was younger, maybe 16, that's when I realized I wasn't going to be, a big basketball player, big time.
All right.
I knew. But that's one. Another one, I would say.
Oh, okay. So So you're just saying these are some of the things that you think that you missed out on that you could have focused on a little bit more to achieve a little bit. I get it. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Especially basketball. That was me.
I think I feel like that sometimes with basketball too, but go ahead.
I'm just noticing. We're going to talk about now because I'm just noticing I'm good at baseball. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to play baseball this year, though.
All right. What's your favorite position?
I used to play, I think when I did play, I used to play second base and outfield sometimes.
Okay.
But I think now that I'm taller, I'm going to play like outfield most likely.
Okay. So you got a love for it, or you just like it?
I like it.
And sometimes when you just like certain things, it's just a hobby. But if you got a love for it, it's actually what you're supposed to be doing.
I think the only sport I have a love for is basketball.
Yeah, you jump back into that basketball. I don't think you finished with basketball yet. You jump back into it. But I'm going to leave it alone. Other than those two, what else?
I feel like it's not even just sports.
Go ahead. Talk about it, brother. Talk about it.
It's more of it's a lot of things when it comes to, academics. Mm-hmm. When I was at my private school, the private school I went to, before I went to Richard Wright, it wasn't even hard. I just really slacked a lot. So that didn't really make it look good. Like I was doing, good in academics.
Talk to me more about the slacking piece. Do you feel like in times in your life where you feel like you slack with even the writing, do you feel like you slack overall? Because we can have these slump moments in our life where we just get, okay, what's next? Or I'm getting tired of this, what I'm doing right now. And sometimes it can hinder you in a little bit because you're supposed to be moving forward with what it is that you're supposed to love. But you're not going to know what you love until you start messing with any and everything, right?
Right.
Right.
Right. I just feel like I was just being too lazy at the point. So
When you were in your private school?
yeah, I just felt like everything was going to be easy. And then when reality had finally hit me,
Right. Yeah, reality hadn't hit you yet. You're still only 17.
yeah, but I'm in the, I'm doing good now. So.
Yeah. What'd you do when you got in your slump moment? What did you do to get out of it, and how did you realize that you were in a slump moment?
I realized I'm not gonna lie, I realized when I started to really see the dramatic changes
In the grades?
in the grades. And
Like dramatic changes like what?
I always used to have A's and B's. I never had a C in my life.
Jesus Christ.
Never.
This boy say he never had a C in his life.
Never had a C.
Did that make you upset? How did that make you feel?
I was nervous. I was nervous mostly because of my mom, because she does not play when it comes to C's.
Yeah.
So I was nervous because of that. But then I think my last year there, I took matters into my own hands, and I kind of got out of my shell with being lazy and slacking off. I actually started to, when you're in a classroom, you actually starting to ask questions.
Let me jump back, because this is the piece. What did the laziness consist of? Was it like signs of depression, or was it you just being not pushed hard enough, or you just didn't see the challenge? What was it?
I wouldn't even call it depression. I wouldn't call it none of that. I think I was
Because let me just, the reason why I asked that, because some kids suffer with depression and don't even know it.
Yeah. I mean, I know that because it's happened to me.
Right.
In my younger years.
Stay on that for just one time. How did that affect you when you realized that's what you were suffering with? Or did you even know that you were actually suffering with depression?
I didn't know until I started to actually get a lot, and I was emotional way too much. And I was always an emotional child. I always cried about everything, but I was getting to the point where I needed to stop, and I stopped for a while. I started being more of a man, as they call it.
Social.
And then I just started to get emotional more.
So it was. Do you understand where the emotional piece came from, or it was just?
Yeah, it was about something. It wasn't even about something major. It was pretty minor now that I think about it.
What was it?
I used to love my Xbox so much, and getting it taken away was just
So you got emotional about your Xbox,
yes.
And it almost sent you into a stage of depression. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And it's not even just my Xbox.
Right.
I used to talk to my cousins on there, so not talking to them.
So it had more to do with not talking with your family too.
Yeah, I used to have friends, family, all that.
I get it. Hey, listen, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing because I truly understand. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you got to get to the meat and potatoes of everything. When you said Xbox, I knew it was something else pertaining to the Xbox. You couldn't talk to your family the way you wanted to talk to your family, and I get it. And you still young, so I get it.
I was about 13 when this happened. So.
When did you realize that you had to snap out of it?
I realized that I had to snap out of it once. I would say once I started, not caring about, what's going on outside of out of my brain. I started to be more, more nonchalant about things.
Things that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
I just felt like everything was minor. And doing that probably really helped me. But the major things, I would, really put my heart to.
Right. I understand.
So I wasn't fully nonchalant, but I was getting there to the point where I just didn't really care. I was being myself, basically. I felt like when I was going through the depression, I wasn't being myself at all.
All right. I get it. Talk about the transition to Richard Wright. Tell us more about the school, the Richard Wright School. The school.
It's a good school. I like it. I love everything that goes on because it's a lot of good opportunities for you. And that school is meant for me because first it's a journalism school. media arts, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do both of those. I do both of those. So there's that, and when I was at, my old school, I didn't have basketball. I wasn't playing basketball, so now I'm playing basketball. And I'm actually playing sports. I'm actually getting involved. I'm actually making friends. Because I was so quiet. Because I just felt like I didn't fit in. I didn't.
You felt like you didn't fit in back then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that now?
I feel like if I was more, I don't know how I really feel. I think if I was more of myself, because I'm not a quiet kid. I'm
Right.
not. I love talking. I love,
I can see it.
stating my mind. Like, when you told me to state my mind,
Right.
like, we're talking man to man, I really wanted to do that. So,
Yeah. 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 So, but you know what? Let me say when you said you wanted to, New York City is a place where you really truly have to be socially active. And I think for people like us, New York City is a wonderful place to be.
yes.
A wonderful place to be. I can't wait till you go and you pick up the phone and you call me like, right, guess where I'm at? I'm in New York City. New York City is everything is at a fast pace, and you have to stay on your P's and Q's. So with that being said, I know you explained to me about you talked to me about the books. What else do you have brewing in your pot?
I have an eye care bag foundation. It's
Whoa, wait. A what?
eye care bag. It's for foster children, like me,
Right.
which I was.
Uh-huh.
So I give toiletries and many other stuff to foster care companies like DC Child and Family Service,
Yeah.
St. Anne's Infant Home, which I was a foster kid in. And I love St. Anne's because everything I do is headline. Because everything I do for them specifically is headline. Because if you know me for a while, in every interview I say this, as a kid, as a little child,
Yeah.
couldn't walk, only speaking Baba. They really took care of me very well, that's how I met this amazing mother. So
that's what I was going to talk to you. How did that at that point of your life when you were actually at the foster care? How did that make you feel?
I don't really remember anything.
You don't remember? Yeah. And if you had anything to tell a foster kid right now, what would you tell them?
I would tell them they're the best foster care,
Right.
Ever, in my opinion. Because without them, I wouldn't meet my mom.
Well, not the foster care system that you were in. If you had to speak to a foster kid, or I know that you often speak to foster kids, right?
Yes.
Now, if you had anything that you needed to tell them to inspire them, what would you tell them right now?
I would tell them never give up on your passions.
Yeah.
There's always a way to do certain stuff. Even though I just said I quit, basketball, but there's always a way to still be involved with basketball. Even if it means being an analyst, a media reporter, whatever, you can do it.
Yeah.
You gotta put your mind to it.
At any point in your time, at any point in your life, in the beginning, when you first met your mom, was there any hesitation or was there any sign of rebellion in the beginning?
All I remember is, I remember when I was younger, I used to always ask, how was I when you first got me to my mom? She was like, I was very calm. I was crying in the police car, but then I, stopped crying. And I was happy.
After you realized everything was okay?
Yeah.
And is there anything in your mind as far as down the line meeting your real parents? Or how does that work?
I already knew my real parents.
You already knew?
I already knew my real parents. I have a very good relationship with both. So.
That's cool. That's cool. That is so cool. All right, jumping back into the entrepreneurship piece. What else are you doing? Because that's amazing you still have that communication with foster care companies and all that kind of stuff. Talk a little bit more about, again, what is it that you, as far as like, what is it that you do with the foster care companies again?
I donate toiletries,
Right.
which is toothbrushes,
Mm-hmm.
toilet. I think we donated toilet paper once. Toilet paper.
Yeah.
Rags, washcloths.
And those little basic necessities are important.
Yes.
Yeah. The other entrepreneurship stuff. What is it that? What else do you do?
I have a hair butter. It's called Cruella.
You have what?
A hair butter.
Did you bring it?
Right here.
Show it.
Gotcha.
This brother has hair, but do you actually physically make it yourself?
With the help of my mom.
That is so cool. Ho, put it back. Is
Okay.
that? But what is that? Wait, is that mine?
Yes.
Throw it in there. I want mine. I appreciate it.
Oh, you want the
That's
bag
so
too?
cool. Yeah, give me my bag. Yeah, thank you. This is so cool. What's it? Listen. I don't have my glasses on, so you have to help me.
Okay.
What's it called? Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Woo! That smells good. Go ahead.
It's called Cruella.
Cruella. What is it?
That's curls and Afrikaans.
Cruella.
Cruella.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means curls and Afrikaans.
All right. Okay. This boy's 17 years old. He needs own shea butter, 4 books. Oh my goodness. I can't even remember what I was doing. 17 years old. But go ahead. Finish telling us about. Are you selling it independently wise, or do you has the store picked it up yet?
Independently.
Okay.
As of right now.
All right. How long have you had this company?
About 2 years since
That's
quarantine.
cool.
Wait, no. Since quarantine started, so 3 years.
Oh, so that's what you was doing during quarantine.
Yes.
All right. All right. What else do you foresee with this product? Do you see other things pertaining like shampoos or lotions or whatever?
I want to get that first, the hair butter in
Mm-hmm.
stores first. Then I will expand. Because
Okay.
I want that one to be in stores. Then maybe we'll get a shampoo. I mean, that could be used as a shampoo. I've heard people say they did.
Okay.
It could be used to even like moisturize your
Right.
skin because it has shea butter. So
Okay.
yeah, it's all. I would say it's an all-purpose hair butter in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So other than the books, other than are there any other things that we should be looking out for that you have your hands into at the age of 17? Because I know you're not even halfway done yet.
Not, but it's a secret.
Oh, it's a secret.
Yeah.
What about, are you planning on turning any of those books into short films or movies or whatever the case?
I have. I
Okay.
actually turned this first one into a short film.
All right. Okay. What's the name of the short film?
It's called The Adventures of Fireman. You can look it up. It should be the first thing to pop up on YouTube. So.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up. Sorry, in this segment of this podcast show, when we get to the meat and potatoes, we seemingly talk about. I have to ask you, what was that moment in your life where you realized, okay, you had that aha moment. This is what I wanted to do. When was it?
When my mom said the book was good, when I gave her that book and she said it was good, I was like, okay, I'm doing this.
All right, and that's when you had your aha moment.
Yeah.
All right. So, as far as the books, do you have any regrets of what you could have done with any of those books?
No regrets because my mission's not done.
That's what I'm talking about. What would you tell a 17-year-old of your age that wanted to see an entrepreneurship in anything? What would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give them?
I always say this, and it's my motto. You're never too young to do anything. Or too old, honestly.
Right.
It don't matter. It does not matter your age. You can do anything in the world. You can start a business. You could be 35 and still play in the NBA. It's stuff like that. You can never give up on your dreams. Just don't. Because you're never too young to do anything, never too old. Doesn't matter. you could still do it.
If you had an opportunity to go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Good question. I think as of right now, Cuba.
Why Cuba?
Um,
Cuba's nice though, but why Cuba?
Cuba because from what I heard, it's like pretty beautiful and the beaches are pretty good. So
Okay.
yeah,
Cuba.
and I like almost like Dominican Republic. I like when it's like a tight space. You know, you got houses on top of
Yeah.
houses.
You like tight spaces though?
Yes.
I don't know what it is about a house. If I have a house kind of close to me, it doesn't feel comfortable to me. But
Yeah.
Cuba's beautiful.
Yes.
If you had any place, if it was anywhere in the world that you could take your mom, where would it be? Or your family, where would it be?
My mom, and I'm gonna go with my mom.
Right.
So I want to take her because I'm Trinidadian.
Okay.
And I've been to Trinidad already.
All right. Okay.
I want to take her to Trinidad.
What about Trinidad did you like?
I don't really remember anything. I just remember going on a parade. So
And you just remember because, okay, you know it was beautiful.
yeah, it was amazing.
Throughout at the age of 17, explain to me where have you been already?
Ooh. So we already said Texas,
Right.
Florida.
Mm-hmm. You got your passport?
Yes. Okay, I had to think about that. Yes.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm.
Jamaica. You already talked about Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
I think that's
What was it about Jamaica that you like? Or what was it about all of it that you liked?
Ooh. It was so beautiful. It just felt like paradise.
What, Jamaica?
Yes.
Okay.
Jamaica. It just felt so.
How long did you stay in Jamaica?
For about 3 to 5 days.
Did you go on a cruise or did you just go straight to Jamaica?
We went straight to Jamaica.
Oh, so you stayed, what was it, you remember what retreat you stayed on? Yeah, was it Montego Bay?
I think it was Montego. Yeah.
All right.
But I think we were in a villa, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a very big villa, too.
Well, brother, listen, tell people how they can stay in contact with you.
You can follow me on Instagram, The Adventures of Fireman. You can follow me on Twitter, Miguel Coppedge, and Facebook, also Miguel Coppedge. Yeah, that's about it.
Brother, listen, it was a pleasure having you. Once again, my name is Randall Lawrence, host of That Moment podcast show. And again, it was my pleasure, Brother Miguel. Keep doing what you're doing and keep striving for excellence.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll hear from that next book soon.
You will.
38.